Mailbag season, Broncos Country. Welcome into the Broncos Breakdown by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. You are watching our Broncos Breakdown live. Questions by Broncos fans to a Broncos fan here in Mr. Trace Moustakis. Now, we do have a game coming up this Sunday against the New York Football Giants. This is a very, very important matchup at home, Empower Field at Mile High against Jackson Dart. Cam Scadaboo going up against Bo Nix and the Broncos defense. It is going to be one hell of a matchup. And the Broncos, by the way, are on a 3-game winning streak. If you want to keep the victory vibes going, and I know you do me a favor. Type those W's down in the comment section. If you're watching during our live stream, get them down in the live chat. I should see a flurry of W's coming in right now. Let's get into the questions. Dr. Checkmate. On National Grouch Day, should I continue to be grouchy about Riley free first down Moss? No, I don't think so. And here's why. I made a video about a week ago, week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago now, about benching Riley Moss. At the time, I was very serious about it because he just kept giving up these big plays after big plays after big plays. He played a lot better against the New York Jets. Granted, the Jets' offense is a complete dumpster fire. The whole team sucks. Justin Fields can't throw the football, period. So I'm willing to give a little bit longer of a leash to Riley Moss right now. But with that being said, he still gives up way too many chunk plays for my liking. Going up against Jackson Dart should seem a lot better quarterback play this coming Sunday, so we'll reevaluate after the Giants game. Appreciate your question. Another $20 soup coming in from James Linens. Appreciate you, my brother. Hope this game is better than the last few in penalties. This team is so much better than the offense is playing. 100%. The Broncos are the second most penalized team in terms of penalty yards allowed in the NFL. Did you know the number one team in the NFL is the team that you play this Sunday in the New York Giants? This is the number one and number two most penalized team in football going up head-to-head with each other. So I do hope that it gets a lot better, but I'm going to remain a little pessimistic on that front. Pops. Thank you, Moose. You're welcome, Pops. Do you see us going for a wide receiver 2 or a 1A? It would be a wide receiver 2. I don't think you have the cap space, especially in 2026, at least not right now, to go out and make something like that happen for a 1A, considering 1As are now going for $20+ million a year. I don't think you want to pay someone like that, specifically when you just went out and paid Courtland Sutton. Here's what I will say. There are guaranteed number 2s out there, guys like Jalen Waddle that are now on the trade market. Even though he's in the same division, Jacoby Myers is on the trade market, we think. There's a lot of players that you could go out there and sign if you really wanted to go out and get a number 2. Chris Olave is kind of like a 2, but he's kind of like a 1A as well, depending on the day. So if I had my pick, I'd probably go Chris Olave or Jalen Waddle. But if George Payton is going to be aggressive, I could see a big name being thrown out there like that. End zone prods. How about trading for a strong safety to rotate in for Hufanga? I like where your head's at. I don't think the Broncos need a safety at this point. I really don't. And the reason I say that is because Brandon Jones and Talanoa Hufanga are a very good complement for each other. Now, I understand what you're saying, right? You're understanding, well, this is just be for a rotation for Hufanga. I still believe in guys like PJ Locke and Devin Key to go back out there and actually make some things happen is as a lockdown safeties. Hell, even JL Skinner can go out there and make some plays happen if we really needed to have a rotational safety go in, someone who's hard-hitting like a JL Skinner as well. So I look at this and I say, if I'm going to make a trade, it's not going to be for a strong safety or a safety at all for that matter. In fact, the only defensive player that I would end up trading for right now would be a middle linebacker or an inside linebacker. Josh Kirby. Speaking of inside linebackers, how do you feel about trading for Isaiah Simmons? Well, he can't trade for him. He's unemployed currently, so you would just sign him. But he is take two. He's fast, smart, and strong. Could be a good Swiss Army knife for us. Run stopper and pass coverage in the right scheme. Vance Joseph loves really athletic players. So yes, Isaiah Simmons would fit this scheme very, very well. He's not nearly as good in pass coverage. Do you know who he kind of plays like? He's like a faster, more athletic version of Alex Singleton, which is crazy. But if you wanted to kind of upgrade Singleton, it would be Simmons. In fact, the only reason that I think he's no longer being employed right now is because, one, the injuries, and two, he was with Green Bay most recently, and Green Bay's roster at the time didn't need an Isaiah Simmons because they went out and traded for Micah Parsons. So I think that's kind of the reason they ended up not going with him. But he could be a player that fits a very aggressive scheme like Vance Joseph. I would not be upset about this at all. Bossman, fan favorite of the show, would love to see Waddle in the mile-high end zone. You mean like this? Do the Waddle. Yeah, I love Jalen Waddle, man. Like, any team that ends up getting Jalen Waddle is automatically better. So I'm with you right there. I think in the navy and orange, you seeing this in the end zone, it would just feed families, man. It would. All right, next one. Bo-lieve. Ooh. What are Bo's problem areas right now? Okay, let's talk about it. I was hoping somebody would ask questions about the quarterback. Look, I'm not going to front with you. At the beginning of when I took over this channel, I had said that Bo Nix was going to be a dark horse candidate for MVP. Clearly, that's not the case this year, right? Bo has struggled tremendously at times. There's been other times when Bo has looked outstanding. The fourth quarter against the Philadelphia Eagles, he looked like shades of John Elway. But if I were to go through right now what Bo's woes are, number one is he is inaccurate downfield. Like, it is really, really bad. Did you know that Bo Nix is completing only 41% of his passes when he throws the ball more than 10 yards? When air yards go over 10 yards, Bo is 41% completion percentage on passes above 10 yards. That's terrible. He's inconsistent week to week. So you're going to see one great version of Bo Nix one week and then back to a little bit more of a regression the next. Too many highlight throw attempts still for my taste, although he's cleaned that up tremendously, specifically coming in from week one where he did it a lot against the Tennessee Titans. It's gotten a lot better, so I'll give him credit for that. But number 4 is probably the most egregious out of all of them. Bo's footwork has been really, really bad at times. I'm not the only one saying that, too. Dan Orlovsky of ESPN, who is a former quarterback himself, literally just said this about Bo the other day. It feels like in the most pivotal moments, his feet look so panicky. That's what's leading to these misses. He just doesn't look comfortable always in the pocket. Why does his feet look so all over the place at unnecessary times? That's what's leading to missed throws. That's what's leading to inaccuracy downfield. He's got to quiet down his feet. Yeah, I completely agree. And you know how much I love to argue with the talking heads in the NFL media, but this is spot on. This is absolutely spot on. And as a former quarterback, Dan Orlovsky, I trust his opinion on what he sees from quarterback play. Not all the time, but this is definitely an objective stat, an objective eye test thing. And despite the sloppy footwork, Bo is still putting up solid numbers. These aren't bad. Like, Bo is not bad this year. He's just inconsistent. It's the tale of two Bos. Can we get the Bo that we saw against the Eagles? Can we get the Bo that we saw against the Colts? Because I love that Bo. You know what Bo I don't like? Bo against the Titans. Second half Bo against the Jets. I don't like that Bo at all. But still, 1,200 yards passing, over a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio with the quarterback rating of really close to 90, so you want to see that in the 90s, but 88 is, it's okay, it's mid. But still, I'm still believing in my quarterback. I'm still believing in Bo Nix, Bo 6, QB10, whatever you want to call him. If you still Bo-lieve, get those 10s going down in the comment section. Because trust me, he's going to figure it out. You've just got to figure it out, right? It's like, you got to watch the tape, man. You got to quiet down those feet. Trust that your offensive line is going to keep you upright. You don't need to make highlight throws. Hit your back foot, plant, fire. Just like that every single time. Now, before we get into the rest of the questions, I do have to give a brief shout out to our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. You don't want to miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can now pick the exact same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You want to pick more on Bo Nix's passing yards, rushing yards, or touchdowns? Now you can, all in the exact same lineup, only on Prize Picks. You can also follow other players directly, like celebrity partner, producer Alper on the 1s and 2s, by going over to the feed tab and following them directly. Now, how do you play? Pick the more or less on the player. Then you pick the first thing you got to do is choose your players, then pick the more or the less on their stat projections, and then watch your money multiply. Producer Alper famously said it takes 30 seconds to make a lineup. Yours can do whatever you want with it. All you got to do is download the app and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. How about Rashid? The need for speed, Shaheed. Look, I'm going to say out of all of the Saints wide receivers, he's probably my least sought-after target. And the reason I say that is because he's literally got one speed, 115 miles an hour. He is just a go-route wide receiver. Bo does not complete accurate passes downfield. Like I just told you, passes above 10 yards, Bo's only completing 41%. That's terrible. I'm just existing. I know it don't matter, but how likely do you think Nick Bonito or PS2 can get Depoy? Well, Pat Surtain, probably not. But Nick Bonito is your favorite, your odds-on favorite. If you went to NFL.com right now and looked up who is the highest odds to win Defensive Player of the Year right now and clicked enter, it would be a picture of Nick Bonito. So he's currently number 1 in the NFL right now. So I do believe you could see back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards, one from Pat Surtain and now one for Nick Bonito. Last question from Pops. Pops. Jolly good show. Is there anybody that you sees that you would draft right now? Oh, is there anybody that I see that I would draft right now? Okay. Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. He's the tight end for Vanderbilt. This guy is electric factory, man. He is so good. He can do so much. You know, he kind of reminds me of Tyler Warren a little bit. Maybe not nearly as explosive as Tyler Warren. He might not go in the first round. If he does go in the first round, it'll be later. But man, can that kid play. And I would love, love, love to see Eli Stowers at Mile High. It would feed my family for sure. That's going to do it for us on today's Mailbag Broncos Country. A reminder to hit that subscribe button, like today's video. As always, Mile High salute. Salute. Be cool.